George Kittle recently spoke on some podcast that I don't want to promote because who are they? They didn't invite me on the podcast. But anyway, he was on it, and he spoke about the quarterback position. And you know how George Kittle talks. Like when he talks, he's essentially the head coach of the 49ers. And he speaks with it's amazing. And he talks about the quarterback position. He says it's the most important position in all of sports.
All of sports, not just football, all of sports.
Do you think he means it? Because I think he thinks that tight ends are the most important position.
I'm conflicted on this one because right after that, he goes into basically saying why it doesn't matter which quarterback plays for the 49ers this year and he lists like 14 players on the team that are all-star level players. Mm-hmm. That's why it doesn't matter. We're going to win regardless of who starts. You know what I took that as, Grant? Is I think he actually does believe that it's the most important position in sports. I'm not sure he's sold that they have a guy that is worth just being the sole starter and given the reins completely on this team. I think he feels like he has 3 guys that can do roughly the same things with this roster around him, and he's fine that way. Just let's please let one of them go through the season healthy. That's all I'm asking. I don't care which one, but we don't have a guy on this team. We don't have a Mahomes, or we don't have a Herbert or Lamar or whoever he thinks is really good in this league. So I think he does believe it. I just don't think he believes that guy exists on this roster at this current moment.
I think he believes it in the sense that, like, if Brock Purdy gets hurt in the playoff game and you got to go to Josh Johnson, like, you can't win. Like,
I think he believes it in the sense he's watching Kelsey from across the nation tear it up with Patrick Mahomes as well.
Nah, I'm not looking at it that way. I'm looking at they just lost the NFC Championship game because their quarterback got hurt, and it's such a critical position. If the quarterback goes down, it doesn't matter what the rest that you have. But still, I think this team likes being in the position where the quarterback is making $900K. The quarterback is, not one of the top players on the team. George carries the quarterback. He carried Jimmy. He's carrying Brock. Why do people give George and Debo so much credit? Because, look at the quarterback that they're playing with, right? McCaffrey too. And the thing I feel like Ayuk gets lost in that because he can't overcome a quarterback who's limited. He needs a quarterback with a big arm to get the most out of Ayuk. Not with Debo, not with Kittle, not with McCaffrey. So those guys have this aura that they're transcendent players that can carry teams almost like quarterbacks because the Niners don't have that guy. And I think they love it, man. It keeps them rich. It keeps them relevant. I mean, it's allowed George Kittle to actually sing songs that were awful at the NFL award or ESPN, whatever the hell that was. I mean, terrible songs, all because the quarterback is seen as mediocre. Kelsey doesn't get to sing, and he's a lot more charming than George. A lot more charming.
He did have his own cameo on a dating show, though. Actually, not a cameo. Funny. The show was built around him.
I like Travis Kelce.
A little bit off the topic question, but you brought up Ayuk. And people will keep bringing up, Tom Brady was a late round pick. It was brought up earlier on the show. What would Ayuk do with Tom Brady? Even last year's version of Tom Brady. What would he do with Tom Brady as his quarterback?
Think about it this way. Stephon Diggs is a little disgruntled over in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Let's say they got rid of him and replaced him with Brandon Ayuk. They'd be better. I don't think Brandon Ayuk gets enough credit. I am Team Brandon. This dude is way underrated, and we haven't seen his full capabilities because of the quarterbacks on this team. You put him with Josh Allen, oh my God. The number one option with Josh Allen, he would put up 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. He would do stuff that Devontae Adams does. Watch. But I hope he gets the opportunity. I don't know if they'll ever get it here.
I think he could put up big numbers too. I'm not saying he's on the level of some of those other guys, but I think he could put up some crazy numbers with quarterbacks that could really sling it. Because a lot of people ask, who's the deep threat on this team? I mean, that's the thing. It's not Purdy or Jimmy's fault that we don't go deep. Who's the deep threat? Ayuk is the deep threat. He is the deep threat. This guy gets open on a regular basis. Ayuk is that deep threat. He would crush it with some of these other quarterbacks that can get him the ball consistently 35, 40 yards downfield. He would absolutely kill it.
I mean, in college, this dude averaged 18 yards a catch his final season. 18. Like, just get him a quarterback who's not Nick Mullins or Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo, please.
I don't think it's far-fetched to say that he's one of the better route runners in the NFL, I think.
To me, he's a lot like Justin Jefferson, but he's so much stronger and he's so much angrier, and I don't know, I like him. Like, there's something kind of soft about Justin Jefferson. Like, there's nothing soft about Brandon Ayuk. Nothing.
Yeah.
Is Jefferson
I don't know
faster
if I'm
than
that about Jefferson?
Is I don't know. It just not soft,
some of those
but like
catches
finesse.
he makes, man.
Finesse.
Yeah. I know what
dude,
you're saying.
Ayuk is so freaking tough, dude. You can run him over the middle. He'll take the hit. Will Jefferson take those hits over the middle? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's the picture of him holding the mouthpiece and the helmet dangling down, and he's like looking like mean mugging as after he gets the catch. That's
yeah, maybe I went too far. I haven't watched as much Jefferson as I've watched.
No, I'm not saying Jefferson. Like, I'm saying Ayuk. I'm saying Ayuk. The picture of him with the helmet.
Again, if you took Jefferson off that team and put Ayuk and said you just do Jefferson's role and we'll give you Jefferson's targets.
Yeah,
he would put up damn near Jefferson's numbers, if not Jefferson's numbers. That's the way.
Yeah, if he got 120 catches in a season like these guys, he'd put up crazy numbers too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many targets a season does Jefferson get? 180? Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Jason says Koishar. Sorry, I butchered it. I appreciate you dudes. If we sign Kirk, I also would be crying with that other dude. I'll be crying in laughter, man. That shit would be way too funny. I would really enjoy it.
If we sign Kirk, you're gonna see Grant shirtless with the necklace doing this like Kurt was on the plane. Guaranteed.
Got 42. Hell yeah. I wouldn't be surprised when Kirk comes to the Niners since Plumbing got 42. Kyle will pull a TB12 and file a divorce to spend more time with It's going to be like when J-Lo and Ben Affleck got back together after all those years. It's going to be look at him. Yes. I always wanted it to work out between them. And Noop says, if Trey Lance doesn't work out for the Niners, is that the worst NFL trade in history because of Eddie D? Deb Niners ain't winning no Super Bowls. Curse of Eddie D. I mean, it's a lot that they gave up. I don't know. I have to look.
It's one of the worst trades.
But it'd be in the top 10 for sure.
The question is how would the fans look at it? Would they look at it as one of the worst trades because Trey Lance didn't hold up his end of the bargain, or because Kyle Shanahan didn't hold up his end of the bargain? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. Seems to me that with the thing that's so weird about the Trey Lance situation is, what's his record? 2-2? Like Steve Young was 3-19, I want to say, or 3-16 with the Bucks. Like, that's failing. Trey hasn't failed. He got hurt a couple times. He wasn't as good as Brock initially, but the Niners are essentially flirting with the idea of throwing 3 first-round picks away. We don't need him. It doesn't matter. We got Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Huh?
Some weird thing.
Just throw him away. I mean, it's one thing if you gave it every chance and it's like, it just didn't work. We were wrong. He sucks. Happens to the best of us. But just throwing him away, like bad teams don't even do that, let alone good ones. What?
Which kind of goes back to the original point or the original topic. If you let him sit here as the backup and rot away, that is the worst thing you can do. If you can get anything for him at this point, including another player that might help you win a Super Bowl, why wouldn't you do that if Brock is your guy?
I think that's the only way you can trade him. I don't think you can justify trading him for a pick next year.
No.
Because you're trying to win the Super Bowl this year. You can't make your team worse when you go through your quarterback. So if you want to trade him for Danielle Hunter and say, look, we're still 3 deep at quarterback. All right, fine. He better not turn out to be a good quarterback in Minnesota, but that's between you and God at this point. Like, that's on you. That's not my problem anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get Danielle Hunter and win the Super Bowl now, great, do it. Not sure that you can, though. Joseph Stockbridge says, appendicitis awareness. I thought an inflamed appendix was a stomach ache for over a year. If you attempt to clear it on the toilet, and it doesn't help but randomly dissipates, then get checked. Blood in the toilet equals maybe too late. Joseph, thank you very much. I feel like this would have been important information for Rob.
Guerrera.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. He had an appendicitis thing. So I will definitely check your stool. Everyone, make sure.
Well, that could be colon cancer, brother. Like, that could be a lot worse than anything. So be careful.
Getting old is nice because you have to learn about things you don't want to learn about. Like,
that's true. It's true.
Good times. The coach, shout out to the coach, says our little Matchbox car offense needs to open up. I love how salty the coach is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
I used to call it like a tennis court offense, but because Jimmy wouldn't even use the sidelines. But now that Brock's here, I feel like he's turned it into a doubles tennis court offense.
Yeah,
But he still doesn't really. Like, he doesn't want to throw. He's afraid of throwing the ball over the fence.
yeah.
It's like, we're not going to get the ball back. Like, you got it. Ballavision says $20, but it's $2. That's weird. I wonder what he was going for there.
I don't know.
Code? It's not even. It could be a time. It could be 20 point. Who knows? Balla. We'll never know.
Could
Jason
be his 40 time.
It's pronounced kosher, like the song.
Oh.
Hey, how about that, Jason Kosher? Any guess on Bosa's sack number this year?
Yeah, it's funny. We have an over-under game. Not tonight, but we have an over-under game that we'll talk about that. So this is the ultimate cliffhanger. Make sure you tune in and future 49ers After Darks.